What's up, guys? My name is Adam and this is Broke Man Finance. How to play a red hot penny stock. Well, in this video I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm doing with just that very thing. Zomedica, ticker symbol ZOM, is a penny stock that has been getting a lot of attention lately. It jumped up to $1.40 the other day and then fell back down under $1, well, just as quick. People online started freaking out because of the drop that Zomedica had, because I guess they just assumed that it was going to go up forever. And as we all know, with penny stocks, that is rarely ever the case. There tends to be, very commonly, big swings in both directions. It seems like every other day for a lot of them. So a tip that I would highly advise for anybody, and I would advise this on a lot of stocks, once you get into that profit level, especially on something that's really volatile and it's got those big swings that I was mentioning, once you get into that profit level and let's say you don't have time to sit around and watch that stock move around all day, you got real life to deal with. But at the same time, you're scared that it could drop back down way under what your average cost is. You could set a stop loss on that. So that way, if it did start to drop, whatever price you set that stop loss order on, it'll execute at that price and you can still gain some profits, and it mitigates a lot of that risk. So that way it takes a lot of the worrying out of it, and you can just set your stop losses, go about your day. If it keeps on going up, fantastic. The stop loss will never be executed. But if it does start coming back down in the wrong direction, as soon as it hits that price, it'll automatically sell. That way you could still earn some profits and get back in, hopefully at a lower price. This is the thing. When you're dealing with a penny stock, you are dealing with an enormous amount of volatility. So you need to set you need to put those parameters in place, or you're going to get burned eventually. For Zomedica, as we approach March, because that's when their brand new, supposed to be game-changing product, True Format, is released, we're going to continue to see big swings. It's not going to be until they have some earnings, they have some profit, they have some revenue, and they do it maybe a couple times. And we see the success of the company reflected in those earnings reports and financials. Maybe at that time we'll start to see some stuff stabilize, but this thing's going to be bumpy for a little while. So if you got into Zomedica thinking, hey, I'm buying in at 50 cent, 14 cent, 5 cent, 90 cent, and this thing was going to just keep going to the moon and make everybody rich, that's not the case. That's not reality. And I'm still bullish on it. Don't misunderstand me. I'm still bullish on it, but I'm going to play this just like I play a lot of other penny stocks. In fact, there are a lot of market veterans that, well, they'll tell you one of the rules is to never hold a penny stock overnight. They're looking to get in and get out with a profit, because they understand that with a penny stock and the swings that I keep talking about, you can go from one end of the profit spectrum to the other in the negative, just like that. This is what I'm doing, and I do this with a lot of other penny stocks, especially once it starts getting hyped up, because you have to remember there is profit in that hype, but you have to be careful and you have to know when to get out before everybody else is getting out and you see that share price tumble. Because I'm bullish on Zomedica more than I am other penny stocks and some other stocks in general, I may hold this one overnight. So don't feel like you've done something wrong if that's what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm still doing is I'm buying those dips and I'm selling if it goes up at all, and I'm just scalping those profits. I just keep going back and forth, because I know there's going to be buying opportunities coming down the road as this thing moves forward. There's just, could it stop where it's at right now and just keep going on forever? Yes, but the chances is highly unlikely. As I keep going back and forth, my overall goal is to keep lowering that overall cost basis. So let's say I put $500 in there. Every time I get, let's say I get $50 profit, I just keep scalping those profits, doing that over and over, and eventually I'll have my $500 back. Now, it's never going to be as clean as that. That's an exaggerated example, but I'm just trying to give a for instance on what my goal is on this stock, especially if it's not something I really want to hold long term. I'm just playing the hype that's come along with it. I'm playing that pump and dump along with the pump and dump. That's all it is. I have been burned numerous times when I tried to be greedy. I buy something cheap, it starts skyrocketing, and I just keep saying, just gonna keep going, instead of getting out when I can. And then it turns around the other direction, drops just as hard, and now I'm sitting there at a loss. It happens all the time because people get greedy. Buy out, take the profit, and jump back in whenever there's a dip, whenever it drops down a little bit. And again, could it not dip ever again and just keep going up, 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 up? Sure, it could. But the likelihood when you're dealing with some of these penny stocks is very unlikely. Right now, Zomedica is trading for around 96 cents at the time of this filming. And as we draw closer to March, we will likely see a higher bottomed out price whenever it has those swings back down. Hopefully soon it will stop going under $1 and it'll just keep ticking up from there. But there will be a lot of volatility moving forward for a while, for months with this stock, and is offering a great opportunity to make some profits off of this thing if you play it right and you time it right. Lastly, because I like you, and I gotta mention this, and again, I'm no financial advisor, I'm just a guy on YouTube, but don't put any money in a penny stock that you're not willing to lose, because there's a good chance you will, unless you really know what you're doing and you've made enough mistakes along the way, as I have, to start learning from those mistakes. So please be careful. It's even Zomedica, whatever it is you decide to play, make sure you're very careful and don't put any money in it that you're not willing to lose. But that's all I got, folks. I really appreciate you sticking around. As always, I hope your stocks stay green. I hope you stay safe, and I hope everyone takes care.